everybody. Broadcasting live.
Where my girls at? Where my girls at? Independent, free spirit. Ooh, it's
We need some mercy, Michael.
Where my girls at? We link up in a cool minute. Where my girls at? It's going down, down. Where my girls at? It's going down,
Yeah.
down. It's going down tonight. We're going out tonight. Yeah, right. We going out tonight. It's going down tonight. Yeah, right. It's going down tonight. We going out tonight. Yeah, right. We going out tonight. It's going down tonight. Yeah, right.
Right, all right, all right. Thank you for the friendship time being here. It'll be a good show. It's going to be a great show. Hi, everybody. Hi there. Okay, so you guys, it's going to be a juicy show. Technology. Some of us need to get better. Some of us got it down packed, but it's going to be awesome. Call in with your questions. Make that chat get fired up. I'm Sabrina Goodwin Monday. I'm excited to be here with you. Our host is Katrina Harris Earl from Chi-Town today. And you got girlfriend Chrisette, girlfriend Gloria. Okay, I think we're going to go live. Bye.
Yes, yes, yes. When it says we link up in a cool minute, we mean it. We mean it. All right. We all have some girlfriends, some guy friends that we can link up with in a cool minute, like when you need them. And I'm telling you, we are your Force of Friendship girlfriends on We Got Issues today. We have another hot topic, and we are excited that you are linking up with us right here every day, Monday through Friday from 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern time. I'm telling you, I got my girlfriends with me. I'm coming to you today from Chicago, Illinois. I'm your host. I got my girl Sabrina Goodwin Monday from Chapel Hill. I want to know if you already know our voices. Are you learning our voices? Are you learning which one is the messy one, the crazy one, the sassy one? Which one is the techie one, the busy one? Well, today you'll find out that I am the techie one because we're talking about a very important subject. We are talking about the digital divide, and I'm going to tell you what that means in just a minute. Yesterday's show was amazing. Thank you, Chrisette, for a powerful guest. We really appreciate our attorney Bruce we had on yesterday talking about voter suppression. I hope that you guys have connected or made a note to connect with your local ACLU and NAACP. I mean, we could keep talking about that issue every week. And honestly, what we're talking about today is just an extension of that. But I'm telling you, before we go to this subject, as I take it to my girlfriends, if you have been listening in on the George Floyd case on day 2, whoa, whether you've caught it live or you've just caught a little bit of the replay, we want to hear from you as we talk today about We Got Issues. And you can call us in 313-778-7600. We're going to be monitoring the chat also and seeing who's there. So girlfriends, talk to me. What's your issues? How you doing, Sabrina, my co-host?
I'm really good. I have not caught much of the trial today. I made an intentional decision. I'm going to catch up at the end of my day because I was so disturbed. My spirit was just messed up yesterday. And I caught a little of it this morning. I knew where it was going. So I said, you know what? I got to table this and come back to it tonight to get caught up. And so God bless that family. Imagine them having to relive this all over again. It's just so terribly hard. But I'm excited to be with my girlfriends today. I am. Welcome to 910 The Superstation. You guys are going to learn so much today. You're smart for checking in with the girlfriends because we got tech issues and we about to fix them. Chrisette, focus. I love your sweatshirt. Focus.
Thank you. Hey, everybody. It's your girl, Chrisette from the D. I'm excited to be here on today. And you know what? I should have taken a lesson from Sabrina, turned the TV off, not watched the trial today, because you're absolutely right, Sabrina. It gets in your spirit. I found myself crying. I found myself upset. I find myself just saying, Lord, we need you to help us. It's just so much going on. And for me, hearing the testimony from the 9-year-old girl and from her cousin that just turned 18 years old. And, it's just a reminder to us that, there are things that happen in our life, sometimes once in a lifetime, that can cause us trauma that stick with us for the rest of our lives. And so, just listening to their testimonies, I thought, Lord, they're going to really need to get some professional help because of what they witnessed. So I'm excited that we're talking about something that's a little bit lighter. And I know we're going to be following this trial as the weeks go on. But yeah, pretty much that's what I've been doing in between, looking and watching and seeing what the pundits and everybody is saying. So I am excited to throw it to my home girl, Gloria from Maryland. What's up, Glo?
I'm telling you, from the D, living in the DMV, and right now I'm sitting in Florida, sunny Florida. It was a little cloudy for a little bit, but it's sunny out there, and I'm excited to be with you guys. Seriously, I'm excited to be with you. And you know what? One of the reasons I'm excited to be with you is because when you're going through a very challenging time, it is exciting to be with people you love, people who can hold you up when you need to be held up. Seriously, I was watching just a few minutes of it right before we decided to go live. I'm telling you the truth. I was like, I have to get some Kleenex because I'm going to start crying right here, right now, watching that woman cry about what she saw, literally saw. It's like it's all coming back. And yet and still, we all have to continue living. And it's hard to keep living. And it's hard to keep going. And so we got to keep going over here and we got to keep talking over here. So I'm really excited to be with you guys. I'm so thrilled that so many of you are checking us out at theforceoffriendship.com. I'm so excited that you're on Facebook with us and talking to us and asking us questions. But of course, we love you to call in. So techie girlfriend, I'm giving it back to you, Katrina Harris, R.E.A.L, techie girlfriend.
Yes. Well, truly, we will revisit what we have, what we're taking in. I just have to say the fact that there was so many trained professionals there just blows my mind. It blows my mind. It seems like a case that is locked tight. But today, y'all, we are talking about the digital divide. And some of you know what this means and some of you don't, but truly, since COVID, we all have experienced this. We were experiencing it before, and now we're experiencing it now. So what is the digital divide? It is the gulf between those who have ready access to computers and internet and those who do not. There is so much worry about this digital divide and how it impacts us based on income, based on education, based on age. It is definitely true that there is a digital racial gap that could render the country's minorities into an abyss of unemployment. This was according to Deutsche Bank, if I'm saying it correctly. They said the digital racial gap is growing and more than half of Black and Hispanic people could be underprepared for 86% of jobs 2045. But when I read so much of the research I did, it could happen way before 2045. If this digital gap is not addressed in one generation alone, digitization could render the country's minorities into an unemployment abyss. This is a real deal. But the situation is, again, by just committing just $15 billion, which sounds like, it's, be clear, B is a lot of money. But when we're doing trillions, we're talking trillions. 15 billion is a drop in the bucket for our economy. If we just committed $15 billion over the next 15 years, big tech companies could launch meaningful initiatives aimed to reduce this gap. So we are really going to talk about this digital divide. And I just want to say, we all experienced it during COVID. Everybody had to up their tech game. Everyone, even those of us that were, a little bit further along, it has made a big difference. Chrisette, I'm going to pass it to you. I know being in Detroit, just even dealing with the seniors, for example, having to go online with church that didn't have access to or didn't know how to, watch us on Facebook. I watched my mother, who was like, if I hadn't been in the house with her, the frustration level just would have been so much higher. here. So can you talk about how you dealt with that, even the digital divide, how it impacted during this time of COVID, how it became really real with church
Right.
members?
Yeah. And you know what? At our church, we do have a large congregation that has a lot of seniors. And, you know, our seniors are they were so used to coming to church and, you know, not being able to per se watch on the internet. Some of them, now I will say this, and I'm sure we'll talk a little bit about it tomorrow. What I do know about a lot of our seniors is that they are raising a lot of their grandchildren. So they do have some young people at home that have been instrumental in helping them to be able to connect to the internet. But that's given, you know, sometimes I know even with, you know, my millennials asking them to do stuff for me, sometimes they're like, are you for real? You know, they're not always that patient trying to help us deal with technology. So I think that's one of the reasons why we decided to have multiple ways that our congregation could connect. And so while we do have a strong presence on social media, we're still having outside service, and we've been doing it all year, even in the winter months. And that was such a blessing for the elderly because they were able to come in their cars and listen to it on the radio. But it is definitely a difference that we have seen. But I will say this, that once we come out of COVID, we're going to have to absolutely keep that social media presence because so many people have been able to connect that probably would not have connected prior to COVID. But I think we also have talked to the young people at our church about, you know, making themselves available to assist the elderly who may not be able to come out and participate in our outdoor services. So really just trying to connect young people with the elderly so that they can get on online and watch it on those mediums.
Gloria, I know you were going to add in with your mother-in-law being with you at 91 years old. How has that digital divide impacted her? It's a blessing that she's in the home with you, of course.
Okay, so talk about pivoting in technology during the pandemic.
You're muted.
Wait a minute. Okay, hold on. Talk about pivoting in the pandemic with the technology and my mother-in-law, who's 91 years old. Okay, so I had a tablet at my house. I must have had that tablet like 5 years, sitting dormant in the corner because next to Katrina, I love technology. So I had every tablet going. Didn't use it. We're sitting there, beautiful, just sitting there. Okay, so now we come into COVID, and when I tell you, she loves her church. Chris, y'all would love her. She loves her church. Every Thanksgiving, she is raising money throughout the whole family for something for her church. So when it was time that she could not attend her church, that was not an option. When I tell you, she inspired me so much. She knew exactly how to get on Zoom. She knows exactly how to tip the thing so they can see her appropriately. They talk to her. They talk about her. I mean, she
That's
said,
amazing.
"Oh, if I
That is amazing.
need to figure out technology to go to church, I'm going to figure that out for nothing else other than this." I mean, and we don't even have to go see her now. She knows exactly how to go to 2 churches on Sunday in her technology. You know, they will figure it out. She was on a mission. And so therefore, guess what that did for all of us? All of us could not talk about what we could not do. Mm-hmm. We all had to pivot. She was like, "You going to church?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm going to church." I'm definitely going to church. She was on it. So, you know, we can laugh at this situation, but with this digital divide, we have to reach up to them, and we have to learn what we have to learn from them, seek what we have to learn from them. Because with her being 91 years old, can you imagine the number of pivots that she's had to make over her lifetime? When things hit her, she sees things differently. Like, okay, this is what we need to do. Okay, this is what we need to do. And she doesn't talk about what she can't do. She might complain a little bit, but she'll get the job done. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we're going to talk about resources that are out there, but Gloria, how much of that was because her grandson is a computer genius. I'm sure he helped her being in the home with you guys. I mean, wow, the seniors that don't have access to that.
I think that we can also talk about, she's always been extremely aware. Her memory is as sharp as a tack. I'm like totally motivated by people who are in their 90s that are just determined to be sharp and determined to have a level of independence. Her grandson is like a pure genius when it comes to this, but it wasn't because of his genius in it. It was just that she was determined to be at church. And if church is on Zoom, then that's where I'm going to be. So what I want to bring to light here that we're all aware of is technology has brought to us what we need when we need it, if we seek it, number one. And number two, that technology can bring a lot to us. So those who can't get it, we are caused to make sure that they know how to get it. And so the conversation has to go many, many ways. We can't assume that they don't know how. We have to definitely give them a path to get to it. And we have to acknowledge that just because they don't know how doesn't mean that they don't want to know how, but it takes patience to help them pivot. But they do want to pivot. We just have to get them the resources. What you're saying, Katrina, many of them need the resources. Not everyone lives with their daughter-in-law. You know what I mean? Not everyone has those privileges.
For the almost 13.8 million older adults in the US who live alone, asking for internet help has been very challenging for them. And because of this, in the height of the pandemic and even now, but we all can relate to either personally doing it or knowing folks where you could get anything you needed delivered to your house through Amazon, Instacart, anything. And so when we think about COVID, racial and ethnic minority communities that lack internet access have been left behind in the race to get the COVID-19 vaccine. The average monthly cost of internet access of about $70 can be out of reach for those who can barely afford groceries. And so when they look at COVID-19, I know with all of our shots, did all of you guys have to go online? I actually had someone who called me, but in so many cases, we have had to go online to schedule those shots, and there are phone numbers, but what happens when you call those phone numbers? How about unemployment? There's just so many things that if you cannot do it online, we talked the other day about the PPP and whatever, if you cannot do it, I have helped and supported my mother with certain things. And I'm just sitting there in tears saying, if I was not here to help her and support her, how would she get access to this money? How would she be able to communicate with her bank? How would she be able to do that? And so I know, Sabrina, you had a really real live example of what happened to you the other day at the restaurant. And you talk about that, this generational gap.
Oh my goodness. Because of COVID, first time in a long time, we went to a Japanese restaurant, and they don't have menus anymore. Everything is coded. If you want to, you got to use your scan code with your phone and scan the barcode, and then the menu pops up on your phone. And the waitress was like, we've lost a lot of our older customers that used to come in for lunch, but they're not tech savvy. They don't want to have to scan the menu. And so she said, we've lost some of our really good business. And so I just think that we need to adopt a senior and help them get tech savvy. Gloria, I am so amazed at your 91-year-old grandmother, your 90-year-old mother-in-law, who is willing, able. I think it's mindset, because I have some older family members, they won't touch technology with a stick. It's just in their mindset. I don't do it. I don't want to do it. I'm not learning. And then you have those like your mother-in-law, bring it on, bring it on, bring it on.
Right.
Really, you guys, one of my long-time mentors, 91 years old, I got a Facebook request from her the other day. Okay? A Facebook request from a 91-year-old.
That's what I'm talking about. The force of friendship.
She's in the stories. She's in the posting every day. And I'm like, now that is living full out. That is not giving up. That is always open to learning. And so I know the mindset at that stage and age allows them to do that. And some, the mindset You can't do that. And so we just want to encourage those, if you have seniors in your family, lift up, spend some time with technology, because I love technology because nobody should feel alone. You should never be lonely with technology. There's always somebody to talk to. Now that could be good, and that could be bad, but the need is met out there. What were you going to say, Gloria?
I was just going to say, you bringing up a good point about the mindset and how we can use technology to keep everybody young. That's one of the biggest benefits of spreading technology beyond where it is today, is it keeps people youthful because they have to keep digging and figuring things out. I absolutely love that. Absolutely, Katrina.
Yes, and you know what? We have a lot of, I was going to say, you know, even those of us that consider ourselves a little tech savvy, we had to learn how to even up our game during the pandemic. I mean, I'll honestly say that prior to the pandemic, I wasn't a Zoomer. I would probably say I can't even remember the last time I had been on a Zoom prior to the pandemic. It wasn't something that I did all the time. And so, you know, we had to learn how to do something different. And you know what? It's always a little scary. It's always a little uncomfortable when you have to learn something new. And so, you know, during this time,
go to break, Chris.
Okay.
We're getting ready to go to break, and just be sure when we come back from break, we're going to continue this conversation. But as it relates to our seniors, don't just do it for them, teach them. They should be able to get on and make a teleservice appointment with their doctor. We are going to support our community in this digital divide not being an issue. So you're listening to The Force of Friendship on We Got Issues, WFDF, 9:10 a.m. the Superstation. Give us a call, 313-778-7600. We'll talk to you right after the break.
Oh my goodness, you guys, this is so exciting. Okay, Katrina, am I talking right? Am I talking to the right place?
Okay, y'all. Definitely.
Okay. Huh?
Okay, great. What's the caller's name?
Okay, wonderful, wonderful,
Gloria.
wonderful, you
Excellent.
guys. We're excited about this topic. Who can you adopt? Who can you teach technology to this week?
Gloria.
I mean, simple things in technology. It's just like, I mean, to make a doctor's appointment, to make a dentist appointment, to go to anywhere, you need to know how to get online. And so make that a point to get with an elder in your family, in the community, and that could be some community service. No one left behind. Post-pandemic, we are coming out of this thing better. In the community. Think about that. Yes. You guys, call in with your questions, 313-778-7600. I am Sabrina Goodwin Monday out of Chapel Hill, North Carolina, and we are excited to talk tech today. We are talking tech on Tuesday. Tech on Tuesday. Are you guys feeling good? Where are you guys calling from? Type your name in the chat and tell us where you're calling from. East Coast, West Coast, South? What cities are represented today? We love to see our variety of our tribe. And I'm going to go. It's a lot to do, y'all. They want me to talk, and they want me to listen, and then they want me to type in the chat during the break. I don't even know if you're hearing me. See, I'm not the most tech savvy one. I just do what I'm told, and I surround myself with girlfriends who love technology. And then guess what? You get better at it because people around you, it's your circle of influence. Think about that, your circle of influence. You need to always be learning, always be learning, always be loving, always be laughing. Yep, bring the light. Force of Friendship, we are light, laughter, love, and lessons. That's who we are.
Okay.
Girlfriend. All right, see y'all. Bye.
All righty. We're glad to be back from the break. You are listening to We Got Issues, The Force of Friendship. Be sure to visit us at theforceoffriendship.com. You are even able to check out the show right there from the website. Join our mailing list so you can know all things that are taking place for us. We're about to go to a caller in just a second, but I have to say that during the break, I got a little notification from my grandson's Gizmo watch telling me that he wants to talk to me. So the digital divide, literally, we were talking about seniors and we want to be able to know. So y'all, you must know how to also limit access for your kids. That's a whole other thing that I'm going to bring up, because when you let kids have unlimited access to the internet, unfortunate things can
Could be a
happen. So
problem.
that is
Mhm.
really important with the digital divide. If you don't understand how to limit your internet, how to limit those apps, how to take it away, that's why my grandchildren have a Gizmo watch and not unlimited access to their iPad, because their mother understands that. So we are going to go to a caller. We have Gloria on the line. And Gloria, we want to hear from you on We Got Issues. How are you? Are you there, Gloria? Drea. Okay, Drea, how are you? Yes, live on the air. We want to hear your issue, your comment. What can you add to the conversation today?
Wow.
It,
Mhm. Awesome.
Mhm.
Right.
That's so excellent, Drea. And
Awesome.
I thank you, because I know you've dialed in before. So we appreciate you so much for dialing in. And how amazing is that at 94 years old? I know that that has been an inspiration for all. So this is just an incredible, amazing conversation. I will tell you that does she have many friends in her age group that she's also able to communicate with? Or is she one of the few in her circle that is that far along with technology? Oh, wow. Wow. And your dad. Excellent. Well, kudos to you. And I know it's made a huge difference. Does your dad live with you?
Wow.
Mm.
Wow.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
That is a perfect example of why this is so important. And so we don't have to look far to adopt seniors and help to bring them up to speed. It sounds like your father is perhaps even bringing others up to speed that are his junior to him in age. So thank you so much, Drea, for calling in. We appreciate you and what you added to the conversation on We Got Issues today. Love you. Please call us in tomorrow where we have another great topic. You guys, we want to hear from you at 313-778-7600. I want to flip to Carlene Lambert, who is on our Facebook page, and she asked a question, what computer is good for business and college? And I first want to answer that by letting you know that there's a resource. You can go to High Speed Internet, because of course we know along with the devices, you need to have great internet access. On February 25th, 2021, the FCC created the Emergency Broadband Benefit Program, which will give eligible households $50 to $75 discount on internet services, plus a one-time discount of $100 off of a laptop. The program is up and running. This isn't an official start date for signups yet. Okay, and it goes on and it talks about those who qualify, and all kinds of information is on there. So it's not just low income, but those who have been severely financially affected by loss of income during the pandemic and have a total household income under $99,000 can still qualify under this program. So make sure you check out highspeedinternet.com. I want to tell you that I am in love with my Mac computer, and what you know is Apple devices tend to be more expensive on the higher end. And so, starting with the PC for those that have budgetary constraints, that can be really important. I do want to tell you this on Facebook Marketplace. You can is a great way to have access to devices that people use devices, or sometimes there's even computer stores in your area where you can get great devices that are less expensive. I have a perfectly good laptop and phone, and I will always I don't just trade it in. I pass my device down either to someone in my family or sell it on Facebook Marketplace. So don't be afraid of that. If you are a senior or not sure how to manage that, you can reach out and get someone to help you, because there's a couple of things that you can ask to ensure that it is not a stolen device, and you always meet in a secure public location when you're doing that. Of course, staying COVID safe. So I want to thank you so much, Drea, for calling in, and we are certainly reaching out and looking for more callers at 313-778-7600. I want to reach out to the girlfriends and kind of shift a little bit. I live in two places. And so I live in the suburbs in California, and I live in Chicago near downtown. And I will tell you that this is a real deal when we talk about broadband internet access, because it's one thing to have internet access, but if your access is slow, seriously, I notice a difference. Living in a predominantly white neighborhood in California, my internet is probably 100 times faster than it is right here in Chicago, in a neighborhood that is predominantly African American. And so this is a real issue. And also, even though smartphones have helped to bridge the internet access gap, really imagine what it's like for kids that are going to school on a smartphone. I mean, just looking, if that's your only device, or kids in a household where there are 4 children and 1 laptop. I can't implore so much. For those of us that are in a position, this is a great opportunity to be a part of organizations in your area that can help to fundraise and donate. It's a great opportunity. If you've got extra devices in your home, there are people in need right now. And so, girlfriends, I want to ask you, what can you add to the situation as we are here, where there were 42% of Blacks said that they depended on the library for internet access. Well, who was going to the library during COVID? Right. So job applications, just Sabrina, what would you add to this?
Yeah. Well, in North Carolina, and I'm sure in many states across the country during the pandemic, because so many of the communities did not have internet any internet access. There are a lot of rural communities that are just not wired, don't have it. And so we had internet hubs throughout the city. I'm sure everybody else did too, where you could bring your kids. They were socially distanced, they said, and we had hubs. And so sometimes it was a park situation when the weather was warmer. They opened some churches for school-age children, but the school system here, which, can you believe my phone dropped, y'all?
She messing up my technology.
Here we go.
Getting excited. Here she go. All right, I will be a little messy. So we'll go back to Sabrina.
Okay. Okay, here you go.
This is live. This is live radio.
Okay, it is a live show. And so I just think being resourceful and it should not be a reason why your children are not getting their education. Get them to the internet so they can get what they need. I know it's easier said than done, but there are resources out there. But wouldn't it be
live show?
Hello? Hello. Can you hear me?
Okay. Now we got you. Yes.
Okay. Excellent. And so I just think that it's important that we as adults are resourceful for our young people to find what we need when we need it. Well, I know it's not convenient, but during this pandemic and COVID, it's necessary to go get what you need. And honestly, they should have created some kind of program where internet was accessible for every family in the US. That should have been some legislation passed because it's like air. I know when Gloria and I travel overseas, when we went to go work in Brazil and Colombia, the internet is like incredibly slow. And so when you come to the US and you find how it's just popping, it was like, oh, as soon as we get to a hot spot, we were breathing again. But when we travel to other countries, we're very blessed to have what we have in the US, and it really should be made available to everybody, especially right now without a cost. I don't know how we do that, but
the infrastructure bill that is coming up, that is called infrastructure. When you live in cities that are older and it requires them to dig, there's less, if you're in a new neighborhood, a new suburb, they just dig the lines while you're going. But in the cities, it's infrastructure. We need this infrastructure bill. It will include high speed, and it includes the lines are faster when they're in the ground instead of above. Nobody wants to be in a neighborhood with all them old school lines going by, because that brings on other health issues. And so this is what we're dealing with. We need funding for infrastructure, which will include high speed. Go ahead, Gloria.
One of the things that when we deal with the infrastructure and when we deal with the fact that we have slow internet speed, we're not only talking about the divide here in the US, we're talking about the divide worldwide. We're talking about an uneducated next generation. We're talking about the young children who grow up educated being very frustrated. They're already living in a frustrated situation with the school, but the workers, the people who have to learn online, a lot of the people who have to reshift themselves in this pivot, the only way they can educate and reposition themselves is through the internet technology and the school learning. My sister-in-law teaches English as a second language. And so they quickly, imagine this, you guys, they quickly had to go from the classroom to the internet. They didn't have laptops. They don't have a lot of tablets. They're doing it on their phone. They're doing it on their phone while they're working their other jobs. And she's teaching them while they're looking at the screen on their phone. Guys, it's a major situation. And those people who are taking English as a second language, and imagine the second language with the frustration of slow internet, compounded with the frustration of a telephone situation where they cannot really Zoom the way other people Zoom. It's a very big deal. So the infrastructure not only deals with the underground technology of the Wi-Fi, it also deals with the technology that we get into the hands of people who can't afford or understand how to get the technology to begin with. It's an issue. It's such an issue.
It is. And you know what, Gloria, to add to that, it really kind of boils down to the have and the have-nots again. And of course, the Black community, the Black and brown people that are affected the most. Early on in COVID, they were talking about, because they stopped the kids from going to school. So there were situations where they literally didn't base the children being able to go to the next level based on their grades. They just said, go ahead and pass them. And so I just know that we are going to find ourselves in a situation where we have children who have missed out on so much because they have not had access to the internet. And so I think going forward, one of the things that we're going to have to do, especially, and I'm sure Sabrina will probably cover that tomorrow when we talk about teaching in this new environment, there are so many children that are going to be so far behind because of everything they missed. And the sad thing is, it has nothing to do with they were delinquent. It had nothing to do with, they skipped school, but it had everything to do with they did not have access. And that is what is so disheartening, is when you don't have access, it has a trickle down and it has a trickle up effect, because it will follow them it could potentially follow them for the rest of their lives.
That's right. That's right.
It must be a priority. And so I want to encourage those of you, reach out and identify resources. Even if you are not in need of those resources, find those resources and share those resources with people that you're connected with at your church, in the community, because this is something that it would surprise you. You walk in most American homes and they have a TV in every room. but they have either no computer or one computer. And so this is something that some parents might not even really know that they need, that the resources that are available. But I just can't emphasize enough how important it is for us to prioritize this. This is the gifts. This is the birthday gifts, and this is what's needed, as opposed to a PlayStation. Honestly, the kids know how to get on it, but we're spending money and the things that are going to really make a difference in their lifetime. In today's day and age, especially when people are expected to work from home or to consume from home or to educate from home, it is not equitable in any form or manner, especially in these urban cities. One of the things, it's not just the hardware that's the problem, but as we talked about earlier, it is the training. Most professors that were spoke to in this article that was on CNBC said that the digital inequity, which starts early in life, especially middle school, is what sets people back the most in this digital generation. And a lot of kids, when it comes to college by that time, which you only can apply to online, let's be clear, the first time they're exposed to things like coding compared to children from other families where they've had lots of exposure. And that gap takes a long time to fill. You guys, it's not the sexiest topic. It's not the most fun topic, but I tell you, I got an issue. One. It is important. I got issues when our kids, don't know how, but I guarantee you, if you look, there are in almost every metropolitan city programs where kids can learn to code, and they can learn to code. They can get familiar with computers. And guess what? It will give them energy and, challenge them, not just around the computer games, but to be parts of programs to learn the technology behind that. And so this is a big, big, big deal.
Hey, Katrina,
you know what, Katrina? Let me bring
up this thing that
while we're talking.
Okay.
Go ahead, Gloria.
Let me just hit this one thing that she talks about, the coding. I just want to bring up that the coding, that's one of the fastest franchises that's growing. Of all the franchises, children getting coding is one of the fastest franchises. However, if we don't speak up, everyone else is going to get the franchise and it's not going to hit our community. And I just want to bring that up because when my son told me that coding was one of the fastest franchises of teaching kids about how to code because of what's coming down the pike. You guys, what's coming down the pike? I remember when my kids were young and my ex-husband, he's my ex-husband now, but at the time he said, the kids need to go to these private schools. And I was like, they don't have to go to private school. The school that they're in. And then he wouldn't show me what they were learning in the private schools. I was like, what? Because they were preparing them for what was coming. This coding situation, preparing those for what's coming. And I'm just talking out loud because if they're going to do this, we have to scream to make sure that our children are prepared with those skill sets. It's one thing to have the technology. It's the other thing to have the skill set to prepare them going forward. I just think that was an important part to know that that's one of the fastest growing franchises. I'm sorry, Chris, what were we going to add?
No, I was just going to say, absolutely. The flip side of the conversation is for the families that do have children that have learn how to navigate in this new virtual world, that are learning how to code, that are learning, how to mute themselves on a Zoom, that are learning how, to change the backgrounds and to do all of that. They are going to be so much further advanced than we were. So having a conversation with them, it was so funny. The other day, we had a family meeting on Zoom and my sister got on and she has two grandchildren, Gabby and little Greg. And she was like, well, I can't get on right now because, I'm not looking good. And so Gabby gets on and the next thing I know, boom, boom. And I'm looking at Gabby. Gabby took the phone and she's only 5. She took it from her mom, turned on the video and she said, oh, you gonna see me. And her grandmother was like, huh? So it's so funny because these children are learning how to do things that for us took us so much longer because when they're younger, their brains are like, sponges. They absorb so much and they learn how to learn coding and all that so much easier. So I agree with you, Gloria, when you talk about, our kids and really getting them prepared for what's coming in the future.
Yeah, Again, it sounds crazy, but everything that we thought about 20 years ago, that future is right now. Artificial intelligence is going to
AI.
impact every single job in the world. And it will, in some ways, take a job away that is a common job now, that if you don't upgrade, it won't be there. It's so important. I mean, I was reading about and actually invested in a company that is just the trucking industry, for example, that literally they are collecting all this data that it is safer for trucks to drive across country driverless with this technology than it is with drivers, that the percentages of accidents and so forth. So what does that mean?
I am so not ready.
gonna
I am not ready. I'm not ready for that. I'm
You're
not
not
ready
ready,
to go down the highway, look at the truck, and nobody's in the truck.
No,
I'm
man.
not ready for that.
You're not doing it, Sabrina? You're not
guess
gonna let
what?
the
It's
car drive,
starting.
Miss Daisy?
It's going to
You
start
okay?
with someone being in the truck. It will start with someone being in the truck, but the person will, kind of like in the pilot in the plane, it'll start out where someone is still sitting there, but they just do not have to do everything, just like the pilot. You know, you need a pilot for takeoff and you need him for landing, but the rest of the
The
time,
Jetsons.
guess
The
what?
Jetsons. We're the
Yep.
Jetsons. I'm telling you, the
It's
Jetsons.
It's coming.
It is right here.
It's absolutely, and you know what? Nowadays, think about your cars. When I picked up my last car, you know, you almost have to have an engineering degree to fix a car because your car is more electronic than it is, you know, the nuts and bolts of years and years and years ago. If something in your car, a circuit goes bad, you are up a creek. So it is absolutely on its way. It's here. I shouldn't say on its way. It's here.
It's here.
I want
I'm
to
at my
just let you
girlfriend's
guys
house. She
know.
bought her.
Go ahead, Gloria.
I was at my girlfriend's house and she bought her entire car and she did a whole research online. The whole thing. She researched, she got what she wanted. She got exactly what she wanted. And then the truck brought her, it was too big, it has like 20 cars on it, couldn't bring it to her house, but they had a meeting place. They dropped the car, she signs a piece of paper and takes off, and there's her car.
Wow.
I mean, it's just different. Yeah,
It's
I
a
didn't
new
even know
day.
about
It's a
Insta
new
or
day.
cart. I didn't know about Insta or cart. I didn't know about groceries being delivered. I still, my son likes to deliver his groceries. I still really, you gonna order bananas online? Like, really, bananas? You know, it's here. It's here.
Yes, it is here. And speaking of that infrastructure bill, y'all, here's the deal. Because of COVID, the rural communities have really realized that they were at a disservice because of not having broadband. So a lot of the funding and a lot of the lobbying, all that is going toward rural communities, which is important. We all need it, but we need to make sure that it is not done without paying special attention on communities in the inner cities and so forth that need access to this. We must speak up, we must speak out, and we must help personally. Help. So I challenge every one of you, how are you going to upgrade yourself? I just want to say that among my girlfriends, they call me the techie, but I want to tell you for real, every one of them, we have learned from Chrisette. Gloria is all over it. And Sabrina, you know, you have done a great job of coming along.
No. Okay, my turn to be the messy one. My turn to be the messy one. Okay, who gets a new phone? They share, is it my turn to get the new iPhone? Is it my turn to get the new iPhone? Sabrina is not the one that's
I've done a good job, haven't I, Katrina?
Well, I just want to say that I'm so grateful that the kids, I'm glad the kids were home for your own mental health, but I'm also glad.
Oh my goodness.
It would have been a mess, right, Sabrina? If your kids had not been home during COVID.
For real.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I bought a brand new Mac, a big old beautiful Mac because of COVID.
You did a brand new Mac.
Gloria's like, you better upgrade your stuff, okay? If you want to work, so I got a new Mac, I got a new phone, I got a 12, whatever. whatever with all that. I wouldn't have got
Sabrina,
that.
but we need you to know how to use all of that good stuff.
Okay.
She got all the
Okay.
best technology. Now she gonna
No,
get
but
trained on
girlfriends-
how to use it.
As long as I
Let me
have
tell you
girlfriends,
something.
I told them on the break, circle yourself with the influence that can get it done for you. You don't have to be all things to all people. Just learn a little
Sabrina.
bit. Learn a little bit. Don't beat yourself up. It's a pandemic. Be nice to yourself. Didn't we just do self-care? Don't be hard on yourself. So, girlfriends out there,
Let me
you're
tell
doing
the
a good
story.
job.
Let me tell the
One
story. Let me
step
tell
at
the
a
story,
time.
y'all.
Girlfriends don't let girlfriends
Let me
be
tell the
left
story.
behind.
Let me tell the story. When Sabrina got her new Mac, tell the story, tell the truth. We all went on Facebook Live and watched her open up the box. That's how excited it was. Like, ooh, Sabrina got
It was like a holiday.
new Mac.
Okay.
We went on Facebook Live all together. We all did like lay hands on the situation. Like, ooh, Sabrina got a new Mac. It was so exciting, so excited. We were all celebrating. That's how fun it was.
It is
Yeah.
so true, y'all. I want to give you one little tip. And seriously, those of you watching us on our Facebook page wouldn't be watching me if it wasn't for what is called an Ethernet cable. This is just one little tip. If you live in an area where your internet is just notoriously slow and there are things that you can't get to, like you always have the spinning wheel. You always have the spinning wheel. You go to put in an application for something and it spins and then it's gone. One of the ways you can quickly, one thing you could do is you could check your speed. You can just Google speed test and you could check your speed. That's one thing. But there is something called an Ethernet cable you can order from Amazon for like, $10, $12 and plug directly in to your modem. It just helps you. And if right now I was not plugged directly in, y'all might not be able to see us. Okay. I'm just telling you that. And so I want to just encourage every one of you. First of all, reach out to the tech person in your life who has helped to upgrade you. It might be you. Just love on them today. Okay. Love on them today.
We
But
love you,
every
Katrina.
family, thank you.
We love you,
Every
Kat.
family, every community. Who can you help? Who can you support that you could just donate a couple of your hours and say, I'd love to support you in this area, especially if you've been vaccinated, they've been vaccinated, and you can get together because it's really hard to teach someone technology over technology. It's hard. They want you to sit there personally. So before we come to an end of the show today, I just want to turn and talk a little bit about mindset. Chris, I've watched you just go from totally being overwhelmed and intimidated with technology till now you could teach. You forever teaching us something new that you're doing. How have you walked through that with the mindset that's necessary? Because let's be clear, we can have access to it. We can get devices. We can make the difference. But until you say, I am going to master this, it will not master me. If this is what's necessary for right now, I'm going to get it. So
Wait,
Chris
before
and Gloria.
Chris said,
Okay.
Chris said, no. We got to tell how Chris said fell in love. First, she fell in love with technology when she found out how she could put eyelashes on a picture. Y'all remember that?
That is true. That is true.
And shop online.
Absolutely. I was the fix your photo queen. And trust me, all of my girlfriends was like, teach me. Oh, you.
Right.
And then, I was like, okay, first it was fun. And then I was like, no, I'm going to teach y'all. Y'all can't be sending me 10 and 15 pictures to put lashes and lipstick.
Edit.
So we had to teach them how.
But how much
Exactly.
money has knowing that taught
Unpaid.
you? How much
Absolutely.
money has that saved you in what you would have had to pay somebody else to do for you? And now you can download things and do a lot of it for free or nearly
Absolutely.
free.
So it absolutely has saved money. And you know what? I'll say this. The easiest thing is to let other people do it. And, we just have to love on our girlfriend, Katrina. Katrina is the one that holds us down a lot with the force of friendship. And so, because she is so well-versed in technology, sometimes, when Katrina would talk, it's like, oh God, I can't do that. And what I've learned is not to say what you can't do. And so after I released and I had to talk to myself, you are smart, you are kind, you is intelligent.
Beautiful.
Have to say all of that stuff. And so really starting to embrace it. I'll just say this real quick, funny story, learning, once I learned how to get on Zoom, I was having the hardest time, you guys. learning how to share the screen. And I'm telling you, when you're learning new technology, it's real easy to get frustrated. And so literally I was getting frustrated. I would do it. And then when it was time, lights, camera, action, it wouldn't share. And so I was getting frustrated. I said, you know what? You are going to learn how to share the screen. So I learned how to do that. So I just want to encourage the audience that are watching and listening that there will be a moment where you get frustrated, but don't stop. Keep going, pushing through the frustration, because now it's a piece of cake. And I'll tell you this, guys, on Zoom, I figured out that you can literally go and for the side effects and put lipstick on. So there are times where I'm like, oh, I don't feel like putting no lipstick on. Don't matter, because all the lipstick colors are right there on Zoom. So my husband had to do a conference call in England. And of course, you know, the time zone is totally different. So I said, you know what? He said, I want to wake you up at 3:00 in the morning to do the Zoom. So I said, no problem. I said, I'm going to set you up. All you have to do, go to your email, click it, and you're going to be on Zoom. I can stay in the bed and you can Zoom. So I'm in the bed. I'm like, oh, I'm so glad I did that. Set him up the night before. I'm sleeping good. And he comes in, he said, Chris, I'm like, what? What is the problem? He said, can you come and take this red lipstick off of me? I had to run, get up, go to computer, because I forgot that I had the setting on there that put lipstick on you automatically. So when I tell you, we all have some funny tech stories of learning new technology, but I'm telling you, Bishop does not, my husband does not look good in red lipstick, for sure.
Mamie Anderson on Facebook is asking a question about purchasing things that are not necessary, even if it's less than $100. And I'll tell you, you know, I'm the gadget queen. I love gadgets. I probably overspend on gadgets. So I might not be the right person to ask you.
Probably. Did you say probably? Did you say probably?
She will have you buying the ears, the eyes, the nose, the lips, everything digital. You got to have it. Oh, Lord.
It's a sport.
All.
It's a sport. So that is where your tech girlfriend can help you come in and say, do I need this? Because maybe you don't need it, but it also could be something that could help you tremendously. So Mamie, spend your money wisely. We all want to spend our money wisely. So Gloria, mindset. We just have 1 minute left. So 30 seconds for Gloria and Sabrina.
Okay, so my thing is, make it a hobby. Fall in love with technology because it's here to stay. So since it's here to stay, make it a hobby. Learn something new every week. Learn a new app. I love some of my apps on here that I absolutely love. You know, of course, you'd have to use the regular social media apps, but my face app, Facetune, I love Facetune. And YouCam, if any of you have any wrinkle at all, you want to take your pictures with YouCam because you look fabulous. I mean, there's so many things. This phone is my hobby, and I absolutely love it. Mindset, learn something new every day, and it is a hobby. Sabrina.
You know, I would just say, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Try something new. Hang around people who are going to make you better in that area. It wasn't my friend, but I knew I didn't want to get left behind, so I got with the program. So thank you, girlfriends, for making me better. Thank you.
What about that time, y'all? We went to Sabrina's house and she went in the closet and she said, do I have enough ring lights? Yeah, she came out with like 20 different ring lights. You remember that?
Oh my goodness.
I never used like, get this ring light, get that ring light, get this ring light, get that ring light. Y'all, you need light. That's what I'm gonna tell you. You need light. We're in the virtual world and it's not going away anytime soon. So to be smart on technology, look good on technology. It increases your confidence and fixes your mindset.
All right, we are getting ready to close our show out. We have a great show for you tomorrow. We thank you. And my Beyonce voice, we want to upgrade you. Sabrina, take us out today and just tell them what they're going to experience tomorrow.
Oh my goodness, you guys, we've got an educator coming on. So all the mamas with babies in schools, the grandmothers who are doing virtual learning, we've got a principal at a school. We're going to talk about classroom in COVID. It's going to be awesome. We'll see you tomorrow. Don't miss. All righty, you're listening to 910 AM the Superstation. Yes, visit us and we will hear you tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you. All righty. I am coming here. I have to make sure I'm just comrade. All right.
Woo, woo. Thank you for the comments, ladies online.
Yes.
That was good. It was good.
We love the way y'all blow us up when we start laughing and talking about each other. That was funny. Everybody like, what? That
Yes,
was
yes,
lit. But
yes.
tomorrow is going to be so juicy good. We really want you to, if you know anybody that's ever been frustrated with the pivot in the education, then make sure that they tune in. If you got anybody who has questions, because sometimes when you have an expert like a principal on, you can ask them questions. You can ask them anything. They don't know your children. They don't know your situation. Right. They're going to be able to answer the raw kind of questions that will really make a difference. So let's make tomorrow pop off like crazy.
I just want to share this real quick for our online audience. Please go to our website and please make sure you fill out and subscribe. But right on the We Got Issues page, y'all, at the bottom, we have a form here where we're asking, what topics would you love for us to talk about? What topics? We want to know topics. If you have someone that you know who would be an amazing guest speaker, we won't be able to use everyone, but we want to hear from you. We want to know. So please, you can always type it here in the chat, but you can go right to our website and send your girlfriends to the website. That's where they can see all the different ways they can watch us, whether they have access on Facebook, YouTube, Roku, all those different ways.
And to nominate themselves, Katrina.
Yes.
We know that we have women in our tribe that are phenomenal, women in our tribe that have incredible backgrounds. And sometimes when you're an incredible woman, you lean in to hear from other people, but you have a lot to contribute. So please nominate yourself. We got people who know about people who have issues, and we want to hear from you as well.
Yes. Thank you. We will see y'all tomorrow.
Questions. We write questions for our guest speaker for tomorrow. Yes. They have questions about education, the system, how to help the kids catch up. I don't know what you want out there. I don't have school-age children, but I did at one point. And I just hats off to every parent who's navigating the classroom through COVID. Post-pandemic, they're starting to go back in the classroom. So we have questions for our visitor tomorrow.
Yes. So if you take a moment and just type the questions right now in the chat, that would be super, super helpful. Even after we're offline, Sabrina will be checking out those questions because we're going to get all those questions to our guest speaker tomorrow. So just think for a moment, what questions would you want to ask a teacher, right? Sabrina, what questions would you want to ask a teacher who's been teaching through the pandemic?
An administrator. She's a principal.
Teacher, administrator, principal. Okay. Thank you, guys. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Thanks for being there.
See you guys.
Bye.